This is the intro we did for the show, but we're not musical, as you may know. So we'll keep it just for a bit, as we do have words that kind of fit. If you can, make a better one, send it in, and that'll be fun, because we'll use it, get everyone laughing, because this one is embarrassing. TJ, I thought you could dance at this bit.
No.
TJ, are you dancing?
No, I'm not.
So come along and watch us code, make some stuff, and help you know that not much rhymes with draft. We'll make game for a laugh. Yeah, indeed. Welcome. We are here today from Impact Gamers. I am Adam.
And I am TJ.
Yeah, and we have a small delay between us speaking, so it just seems like TJ takes a long while to work out what his name is. And I'm Adam. And good, right, we're making a game about greed, and we are on session 3. And we have been making a little robot-y thing that goes around, and we're using Click Team Fusion, as always, as a way to make games quickly and nicely, and just get straight into the game making rather than concentrating on lots of typing of complicated math symbols and stuff like that. If ever we say something that's a little bit confusing, hopefully, although it doesn't work, it's first time. Hopefully, still not working. The jargon alarm will go off, and we will let you know what we're talking about. But for the moment, we'll have to make our own jargon alarms because I have no idea. No idea. We will fix that, and also when we have bugs, we will do that. What are bugs, TJ?
Bugs are things that go wrong in our games. So whether it's the code not quite working properly, or just something we've tried coding not happening the way we want it to. So it's going to happen quite a lot. But yeah, bug squishing is very important to games, and that's why we have game testers. Indeed.
And games testing sounds like a really fun job, but a lot of the time it's trying to break games. So if you like breaking things, maybe that's a good thing for you to do. Mm-hmm. So quick question, what's your favourite thing to break? TJ, what's your favourite thing to break?
So really,
I'll tell you mine, just to help you out, so you don't just choose a criminal activity. I like smashing ATMs. No, but you know when there's ice on a lake, but it's only a couple of millimeters thick, and then you can pick it up and then throw it, and it shatters and slides across the rest of the ice in an echoey way. It's my favourite thing to break is ice. Breaking the ice. Ooh, that's it's got two meanings, but no, actual ice, actual frisbee.
Bit of a pun going on here.
Yeah, there we go. So so
on Halloween, I don't breaking pumpkins can be quite fun.
Yeah, your own ones, not just
not necessarily meant to blow them up, but you know what I mean.
So just combining bonfire night with fireworks and pumpkins. Don't do that at home, kids.
Yeah, don't do it.
Although I'm sure there's a YouTube video somewhere of someone doing it. I just want to quickly go through the rules for our game because I have added a whole load of things to fix it along the way. There's loads of bugs, and I also added TJ's beautiful illustrations of the collectibles. That looks like. Oh, let's get the magnifier view out of the way. Oh, he looks like a little sad robot head there, or even a cassette tape. If you go back in time, you might know what those are. Yeah, a little bit like cassette tape there. I've added in a few things. The main thing that I need to say is that we're going to concentrate on the moving of left and right. The grabber now works. It fires out a chain, or it fires out a grabber, builds a chain along. When there's not a chain on top, it adds one. We still have an odd bug that I can't get rid of, where bits of chain are left in the sky, but doesn't affect the game. So if I press left and right on the keyboard, I've got all these flying around the magnet, and if we click, it can grab them in, and then they will then follow me. I can grab them in. And we have there's that little annoying bug of the chain. But anyway, so you can go and grab them, and if the other ones get caught, they get moved in as well. So we've got the chain going in and out, and we've got that happening. And the more you get, the harder it gets to grab the rest of them because they get in the way. But there we go. The movement around the circle is hindered, as in made harder, by the more little robots you've got. And so what I want to do is I want to have a little bit of a boost. Now, TJ, from your game playing days, if there was a button on the computer to help you go faster than you normally do, what button would you have? like for running in
What
games and
was the
stuff.
first part you said?
I
Like
said
a boost button.
a boost button for like running. So if you're moving in a game and you want to go faster, what button would you choose? Am I thinking of the same one? Should we say it after 3? No, because timing doesn't work.
I'm
on
still
this.
trying to think which I'd say.
Go on.
Yes.
Surely on WASD, if you're moving with WASD or the arrow keys, and then you want to run in like a first-person game, there's only one button I'd press. Does anyone
There's
want to
two I'm
comment?
thinking of, but
Go on,
I'm
go on.
going to say
Go on. What's what?
trigger.
No, no. I would go for the long one. That's the button that's bigger on the keyboard than most. I'd go with shift. Would you not go with shift?
Oh, I was thinking of console control. I don't know why.
Okay,
yes, I know. I agree. A
Yeah.
shift button is far easier. Or shift. Oh, shift. No, shift. Yeah, shift is definitely my preferred.
Good. I'm glad. Oh, it's great. It's nice that you agree with me, even though arguing with yourself. So the shift button, and the shift button is just above the CTRL, the control button, just below the caps lock button. There's one on the other side of the keyboard as well, and I think Click Team treats them the same. So I'm going to say that if we press shift, we move faster. Now, at the moment, we say that if we hold down left, then we -1 from the angle. If we hold down right, we +1 to the angle. And that's working okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace that 1 with a variable. Now, a variable... Oh. Yes, TJ? A variable is something that changes. So a number or a string. Go on, TJ. TJ, are you okay there? Just heard some owing.
You just answered, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yes. No, there was a delay.
Good, fine. We got a huge delay today. I think TJ's almost hearing me from a minute before. So I'm going to call this speed.
We're time travelling.
We are. Hey, TJ, say we're time travelling. Ooh, that was spooky, wasn't it? There we go. Right. I'll move on. It took him a while to get that because we're time travelling. So I've got this thing called speed and I've set it to 1. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to then say we don't add 1. We're going to edit this. I'm going to right click there and edit this. And we're going to add whatever the speed value is, which is currently 1. So it's no different, but just the current value of speed. But now, if you notice, oops, I just cancelled that for no apparent reason. But now, if you notice, in this equation, this maths... Oops, there we go. There's a link to it. Sorry, I'm fighting my computer here. I'm going to select this.
Also known as an expression.
Thank you very much. Yes, this expression here. And it's saying that the angle... add the speed on, and you'll notice there's no numbers in that, but obviously there is. It looks up the player's angle and puts it in as a number, and then you've got the value for speed that it puts in as a number. So they all become numbers. I need to press OK rather than cancel there, and just do it the same on here. But if you have code that doesn't have any actual sorry about this, any actual numbers, then it means you can change it much more rapidly. So it means that nothing's changed. It will just look up the value for the speed. But I will have a new condition with holding shift keyboard. Repeat while key is pressed. The shift key is pressed. Then we want to set this. We don't want to add to it. We just want to set the speed to be 2. That'll be double. And then if I drag down and negate it, so a negate, TJ, what would you say?
So negating is the opposite. So if you've put a line of code saying if your character is in this particular area and you negate it, it actually will be telling the computer when your character is not in that particular area. So it does the opposite of what that piece of code says.
Yeah, and not is what is the line of code that gets written in computer programming. So you can see that my speed is 1. If I hold down shift, it becomes 2, 1, 2. So let's try that. So I'll move round, hold down shift, let go, hold down, let go. Do you think that speed increase is enough, TJ, or should I up it to 3? Oh, I've pressed shift. I've pressed shift multiple times. Woo!
Sticky keys.
Sticky. Do you want to turn on sticky keys? Do you know what, Windows? No, I don't. And do you know what? No one ever wants to turn it on, okay? I'm sure there are some people who struggle.
Yeah, I've never known one person that wants it.
Well, anyway, I'm going to go to disabling sticky keys. Allow the keyboard shortcut for sticky keys No, untick that. Because press one key times it goes off. Yeah, off. I don't want any of these keys. These keys are really useful if you only have one hand and you can't hold shift when you want to press other buttons, or if you want to control the mouse with other things. No, I don't want any of that. So, so TJ, just make it a little bit faster. Do you think? Just a smidge.
Just a smidge.
Smidge. So okay, I'll change it to be 3. Right now, TJ. I think we'll go early with our chocolate question for today.
Oh, so in the chat, what do you think is the most? How do I phrase it? So, what particular thing do you think people are most greedy about?
Yeah. So, what things people are greedy about?
And pick something.
Yes. Yeah. And so, what we're going to do is we say you can't choose money or food, because they're quite simple ones. So you think, apart from money and food, what are people greedy about in this world? What's this world got too much greed about? And so answer that for your chance to win some chocolate. Here we go. There we go. Look at that speed increase. That's much better. That's much better. So there we go. So I can move around, and I can try and collect my little robot parts. Now, we haven't got a way of losing this game, and also we need to replenish the heads. At the moment I've got an issue that I collect some heads, they get in my way, which is fine because I want to have it that, you know, the more you have the harder it becomes, but I probably don't want them to stay forever, so I probably want them to get out of the way or get smaller or something. What do you suggest, TJ? Shall I have them destroy after a certain amount of time and add to my score, or shall I have them get smaller? What do you think?
Yeah, maybe if after a certain amount's been collected, then just start destroying the older ones.
Great. Okay, so what I'll say is that every time that one of these heads collides with me, which I've already got actually, I've probably got this rule up somewhere here, so I could save my coding and just add the, yeah, there we go, it's a rule 5. I could add condition number 5, just add it in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add to their alterable values, and once again it's just a variable, it's just a number that goes up, and so I want to add 1 to it, and then we can say new condition that if they've hit into me, alterable values compare. Now we don't always use equal, we use greater or equal, and why do we use that, TJ?
Say that last bit again.
Or why do we why do we use greater or equal when we compare things rather than just equal?
So sometimes the computer, if two objects collide, or for, you know, just an example, when it's counting, it can actually count them twice, so you'd actually end up with a minus number. So you actually sometimes have to say the lower bit as well, because it won't quite be on the number you want if it's counted twice. Yeah,
so we often say if it's lower or equal to 0, if it's health, if you die, if you get hit by a weapon that takes off 5 health and you only have 1 health, you end up with -4. And this way, if they're bouncing around and they manage to do 2 collisions, I'm not sure how it would happen, but if they did, then we can, if it goes higher or equal to, then it will catch it. So I'm going to add in a score here. So under my games, I will add the score, and I will try that out. So I run my application that when I grab one of these robotic heads,
I'll just put the question in the chat again, just because we're asked to repeat it. I thought it'd be easy if people can read it, if people are tuning in a bit later. The question is now there.
Good. And do you want to relay that question one more time? Do you want to say the question one more time, TJ?
So, what are people most greedy about? And you can't use money or food in your answer. So pick something which people are most greedy about, in your opinion.
Yes. And I've come across a bug in the game. So I've said that the alterable value of A, when it gets to above 10, destroy them. And if I just look at just these, it says that every time it hits my little car thing, add 1 to alterable value A. And that's the only time alterable value A is affected. But if we watch what happens, if I go and grab one, see if I can fire my hook, grab one, they all start disappearing. So that is totally a horrible big fat bug in my code. Now I need to find out when they're being destroyed. So they're being destroyed there, and there's no other time they're being destroyed. So their ultra value is greater than 10. I have no idea why that's going wrong. Any ideas, TJ?
I'm just trying to look at the screen, see what I can see.
So I'll put in, just to see if we can help with that, I'm just going to put in an always rule. I'm going to always count the objects. Now, counting the object just means checking them. I'm going to use the word check there. It means checking them one by one. And then I can then say, insert, that when we check this object, so on a loop of check, it's gone red because it's not in the right order. On the loop of check, if it's greater than 10, then destroy it. Just to make sure that it's checking them one by one and not finding one is bigger than 10 and then destroying the others bit by bit. So let's see if I can just grab one. There we go, grab two.
Tricky question we've got in chat.
Yeah, go on.
No, that's what they've put, saying today's is a tricky
it is a tricky question. Oh, well, there
good.
we go.
We want you to have a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, have a good think. I've got a problem here. They are just all getting destroyed. So the only thing I can think is that they're getting added to. Ultra value of 1 is getting added to more than one of them at a time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if changing the order of these will fix it. I'm not sure it will, but sometimes ClickTeam Fusion doesn't know what you're referencing first, what the main part of the rule is. So here we go. Nope, they're all just going magically and disappearing. How strange. I haven't come across that bug before in that way. I'm just going to delete that, and I'm also going to, where do they get destroyed? I've inactivated that. So if we run their application, we will do this. Yeah, so that's working okay, but I'm going to say that when they collide with me and they're caught, I'm just going to do that, just make sure that it's only applying to the ones that are caught. So I'm going to activate this again and get rid of this. Try it one more time. So all I've done is I've just added an extra, and they're touching me, they're bouncing off me. Let's put them around the other way again. Double click to change that. And if they are already caught, so hopefully that won't affect any of the ones that are in the middle. But if it does, I will be truly stumped. Come on. That's better. How weird. I don't know why that fixed it, but it did fix it. So I'm happy with that. And also 10 bounces don't seem to be enough. I'm going to set that much higher. I'm going to set that to 50 bounces.
50?
50. So this world that we're creating with this robot, collecting robot parts and trying to grab them all as much as possible, what background do you think would work? Could we ask the viewers out there what background would work well on here?
So chat, what background do you think, what theme shall we go for with our background? And I'll type it in chat as well, just in case anyone's missed me saying this.
Great.
And we've also got an answer, so greedy about who is better at something. So I think that's going into the realm of pride as well, so that's another sin. But yeah, so you think greed cannot even just be about material objects, it can be about people's actual thoughts on things. Yeah, people wanting to be better than other people, more popular. Okay. I think we see that a lot in on TV, like a lot of people trying to outdo each other, going on celebrity shows and stuff like that. So at the moment, I collected these robot parts, but they're not recreating, they're not spawning again. They're not. So we need to have something to spawn them. Now, there's loads of different ways we could do that, but I'm going to do a very simple way, I think, to do it, and I think it's a very lazy way of doing it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create an active object, which will be my spawner. And I'm just going to fill that in a colour. And TJ, if you can have a think about backgrounds, or if anyone comments about what background might work. I'm putting in chat and waiting to see what brilliant answers you will come up with. So this is going to be invisible.
So I'm going to just put an S for spawn there, and I'm going to turn off visible at start under its properties. And then I'm going to add in a background. Now we haven't added backgrounds into these sessions at the moment. A backdrop is something that doesn't move, only can have one reference to it, only sort of, you can't reference individual backdrops. So if you say something happens to one backdrop, it happens to all of them. And I'll set this to a horrible green colour. Snot green! Okay, and then put snot green over there, and then I just need to say that they are a obstacle to allow some collision. Let's clone it to make a twin of it, backdrop 2, and then rotate it around 90 degrees, boop, 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 and you might realise I am making a box. Now this box is going to trap the spawner inside, and the spawner is going to bounce. So first of all, we'll say the movement of the spawner is a bouncy ball, and then we will say that a new condition is that if the spawner collides with the backdrop, and because the background, it calls it background rather than backdrop, which is a little bit weird, but we added backdrops and they're the same thing. If it collides with it, we want it to bounce. Movement, bounce. Now I'll just turn it off being invisible so you can watch the beauty of a bouncing S around the screen.
So as an answer, we've got Ben who wants a robot in the background.
Okay, more robotic part. Yeah, maybe some more robot things. So there's this.
No, I mean like an actual robot. So
that we're maybe that we're feeding it or something. Maybe that can be the greed that we have to feed the robot old robot parts. So if you could get a robot, TJ.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we could have it that it needs to be fed a certain amount, otherwise it destroys us. We could be its little helper. Whoop. Right. So I'm going to. Oh, look at that! One of the heads escaped. I missed that happening, but I may have to watch it back. So if one of the heads are escaping, we need a new condition to say that if a head position, not a collision, but if a position, if it tries to leave the screen, then we just really need to and it's caught by player 1. No, and it's not caught by player 1, and it leaves the screen. Then we probably need to direction. Can I just select the direction?
It's in the folder now.
Great, thank you very much. Select a direction. I don't want to do a calculation. I want it to look in direction of. Can I think because it's moving by physics, I will need to actually apply an impulse to put it back. So I'm just going to try guessing the impulse. So I want to apply an impulse of, I don't know, 40. And the angle is going to be the angle of a vector. Do you remember that before when we were doing the chain? We'll do the angle of a vector from wherever the head is, position, angle of a vector. It's quite complicated this, isn't it? Position, X position. It's quite tricky to get things to move with physics because you can't just say look in this direction because you have to push them. Position, Y coordinate. Okie dokes. Hopefully that will stop them going off screen, and hopefully that will fix the bug from earlier. So we will do a provisional bug fix there, and we will do every time that we manage to destroy a head, then we will get it to create a new one. So create an object, create a head, and we will create it whatever the spawner is relative to the spawner. Fantastic. So you've got a background image for me already. Is this right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
A lovely robot.
And what have you called it?
Stood in the background. Just called it robot background.
Well, after doing... Oh, there we go. Yep. Robot background. I've got it. Good. I'm just going to save my game. I'm just going to version number it. Double click here and... Oh, F2.
Version number it.
Yeah, I want to save it as version 3 so that we don't lose... Because I changed so much in it. I got a 2B here after 2 because I changed so much and didn't know if it was going to work. There we go. And let's see if I can just drag your robot. Oh, that's a lovely robot, TJ. And we'll put it as a backdrop. There we go. Oh, it's a lot of grey on grey, isn't it? So maybe we'll add a tint over the top. Shall we quickly cheat to add a tint? So we've got RGB coefficients. So what we can do is we can say that saying what white is. If we say white is actually blue, then we can make it, there we go, blue. There. Okay, so we've got the spawny thing bouncing. Oh, I need to order this to the back. Order to back. There we go. Now I can make my backgrounds invisible, theoretically. under here. Ooh, can I not? Backdrops, TJ, don't have a visible at start option, but they do have a blending coefficient. So, what's a blending coefficient, TJ?
So it is the transparency in a short term. So how see-through it is, you can actually make the number higher or lower to make it
More
more
see-through.
or less transparent.
Great, fantastic. Oh, I didn't turn my spawn off there. So theoretically, once that gets eaten, another one shall appear in the center. Good, and there it is. Another one is created there in the mixed them, and I will make that invisible. The thing is, when you change the blending coefficient of background objects, you can't actually see them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock them as well, and locking just means that they can't actually be moved at all. So I've got invisible things that can't move, which is pretty much the same as something that's not there, but it is there. That's the thing. So arrange lock. There we go. So we've pretty much got a game plan laid out. So we just need a hunger meter for the robot. Do you think?
Oh, yeah, some kind of way of gauging how fully repaired it is, maybe. Like a
Yeah. Okay. And so we could have that maybe constantly dropping. So let's do it as, once again, let's do it as a horizontal bar like we did with the other game, with the Boris game. And then we can use a gradient to suggest. So a healthy robot, what colour do you think a healthy robot would be?
green settings, like
Green.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Green. And then what for danger? Black for sort of running out, or dark brown, or red?
red. Yeah, red lights for when it's all going critical.
Okay, and we want to count from the left because that's just a standard, I think. And so if we set the robot's health to have initial value of being full, so let's give it 1,000, minimum of 0, and a maximum of 1,000, and then we can have it counting down. So we'll have this as drop in robot health. I think that's far too long, and I think if you're gonna roboto, I think if you're ever going to do thing in programming, choose shorter names than that. Initial value of 1, minimum value of 1, maximum value of 10, and so we will say every tenth of a second, so 10 hundredths of a second, we will subtract from, I need to move me, sorry TJ, squishing you, duck down there. We are going to subtract from counter whatever this counter, the drop in robot health is, current value. They go to you. I'll get out your way now. You can sit up, you can go up. There we go. And then we say maybe every 10 seconds, or maybe even 5 seconds, we will add 1 to the drop in health. So the drop in health will go up and up and up, and so it'll drop faster and faster. Now, once you've eaten a robot and destroy it, we can add health. We also need to replenish this health. So add counter for each head eaten 100, 10% health.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Let's try running that and see how well that works. TJ, maybe you can get some sound effects. Don't worry about getting them now, but we can get them in a few moments. Ooh, you can see that I go behind. So there's the drop of health. It should pop back up once that one's eaten. Yep, there it popped back up. So, yeah, good. So what things do we need to finish this game? We need to add some instructions. We need to add maybe. Oh, I'm really going to die quite quickly there. Yeah, I definitely need it not to drop so quickly. Let's say maybe every fifth of a second, so it's twice as slow, and maybe every 10
Ben
seconds.
says the robot looks really cool.
Ah, good.
Well, it was your idea, Ben, so good choice.
Okay, so maybe also we could add into the robot a feed me box. So maybe we'll do that really quickly. Add in some text, add in a string, feed
Also, can I just point out the fact that Ben has become a top fan
There
of
we
the
go.
channel?
There we go. Has he got a badge?
He has.
Ah, that's nice. Well done, Ben.
You are now a
Fantastic.
top fan, so congrats on that. And I think it actually appeared probably at the start. It just disappeared on mine for some reason partway through. But yeah, it's back. It is showing it. It is definitely there.
Now, the thing with strings is it uses your computer's font list. So if you've got a font that's nice, it will use it. But it won't actually work on everyone's computer unless you change it. You create it as a backdrop object or an active object. But if they don't have the same font. If they do have the same font, it's fine. But maybe we should choose a fancier font than that. I haven't got many because I reinstalled the system 2 weeks ago. Symbol. The symbol. Terminal. There we go. If you want something roboty. There we go. Feed me. And we will create that as an active object. Great. Super duper. Well, that's pretty much there. So we will get this game out and we will put it in hopefully not very long, hopefully in a couple of hours in iGamers.io. TJ, I was hoping you'd add something.
Sorry,
to that.
I'm looking through sounds.
Just add a yeah on the end. iGamers.io.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And you can play it there with the Boris game. If you do want any help making your own games, just email us info@impactgamers.net. Go on our website, impactgamers.net. And then follow us on Facebook. Message us if you want to know anything. We will sort out this game so that you will be able to play and feed the robot and make the greedy, gutsy roboto full.
Yeah.
Good.
Maybe start Skynet.
Always good to start a artificial intelligence computer that will overthrow humans. There's a lot of money to be made there. So we want to thank you for watching and wish you a very happy half term. We are not going to be here next week, but we will be the week after. TJ is now going to make up something which sounds really insightful and that he spent a lot of time thinking about.
Oh, on the spot. Whilst we're not going to be around next week, just try and stick to, just to keep doing what you're doing. Like, look after each other and try and keep yourself occupied. I know we will basically have to fill the gaps with something. So why don't you guys next week all start your own project, as in start making a game from scratch and just develop one concept for a game during next week.
That sounds like a great challenge. Take care. Have a good half term. Bye.
Bye.
This is the intro we did for the show, but we're not musical, as you may know. So we'll keep it just for a bit, as we do have words that kind of fit. If you can, make a better one, send it in, and that'll be fun, because we'll use it, get everyone laughing, because this one is embarrassing. TJ, I thought you could dance at this bit.
No.
TJ, are you dancing?
No, I'm not.
So come along and watch us code, make some stuff, and help you know that not much rhymes with draft will make game for a laugh.
Yeah.